Good morning. Good morning. All right. So let's talk about some of the pitfalls or some of the traps of slow travel and some of the benefits of slow travel over normal vacation travel. Let's talk today about the things that you need to do to prepare for slow travel that are a little different than the things you need to do to prepare for a normal length vacation. All right, sometimes we get bopping around, but we still live like we're on vacation, and we really need to be living like I travel full time. I'm a long-term traveler. I'm a digital nomad or a nomad. I'm not on vacation. I cannot eat creme brulee every night for dinner. Maybe you could, but I don't think you can. Okay, so let's talk about the ways that slow travel, bopping around, nomadic life for Black women is different from just a regular vacation. We'll talk about the positive and negative, the good and the bad, right? The things we need to prepare for and the things that we need to celebrate about it. Okay, but first, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Stephanie Perry. I'm a digital nomad. I'm a long-term traveler. I've been bopping, okay? Since 2015, I've been traveling full time, permanently, long term. I'm also a house sitter and the creator of House Sitter School and the co-creator of Exodus Summit. I help Black women take a sabbatical, move around, bop around, bop, yeah, move abroad or bop around with ease. If these things sound good to you, please make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button, please. Go ahead and do it, okay? And then turn on notifications, ring that notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video or when I go live. Welcome. Okay, welcome. Welcome, friends. Hello, Cappuccino Gangster. Good morning. Good morning, Janae. And good morning, Trina. Good morning, Redefining My Happiness. Good morning, Freedom Jones and Constance. Good morning, Imani Stewart. Good morning, My Stethoscope Travels and Tours to Cruise. Hey, Kenya. Hey, Mara. Good morning, Brown Girls Trade 2. Good morning, B. Harris and the Global Nurse Expat. Good morning, Celeste. Good morning, SLS Forever. Good morning, Soraya, Daniela. Hi. Good morning, Junket. Hey, Camille. Good morning, Igami. Good morning, Muriel. Good morning, Zimbili. Good morning, Ingenuity. Good morning, Mona. Hi, guys. Hey, Megan. All right, can you tell us in the chat? First, you do have to say good morning. If you're new here, it's a requirement, okay? You do have to type good morning in the chat. Thank you. If you're watching the replay, hello, friends in the future. I hope everything is amazing there. Say hi in the comments, okay? Required. Okay. If you want, friends, do you want to tell us if you've ever been a nomad, if you've ever bopped around? And yeah, whatever you want to tell us about that in the chat. Anyone who's here in the chat who has bopped around, who has been a nomad, say hey. Tell us that you have done that. So I think it's clear. I think it's correct to say that since 2015, I've been a nomad. I quit my job to travel for a year in September of 2015, and I traveled for a full year. I went home for 3 months and got a job, or went home for 4 or 5 months and worked for 3 months, then left again. And since then, I've just been on the road. Even during the peak of COVID, I stayed home March or April through June. And then July, I went back out and house sat some more for some people who needed to go places. So it's been a long time that I've been bopping around, right? People think of me in the move abroad space, but I have never moved abroad. And I have to remind people that I have never yet moved abroad. To me, okay, so maybe we'll start with this. What is the difference between bopping around and moving abroad in terms of like time period? I say I've never moved abroad, even though people would say I have. I've never moved abroad. I don't have residency in another place. There's no other place where I'm legally allowed to go for longer than a tourist visa amount of time. I don't have residency and I don't have a residence anywhere. So in my mind, I've not moved abroad. I have been bopping, right? I'm a digital nomad or I am a slow traveler. Yeah, right? And it's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. It means that I have been a lot of places, met a lot of wonderful people, experienced a lot of things, able to decide what kind of woman I am. Am I a desert girl? Do I like the desert? Do I like the beach? Do I like the mountains? The answer is yes. Do I like, right? I get to just experience myself in different places and different environments. It's nice. It means I haven't had some of the struggles, some of the move abroad struggles, like getting utilities in my name, getting a bank in a new country. Haven't done those things. Everything that I have lifts up and lifts out, and it picks up and puts down in another place. The most I need to do is Google, how long is my tourist visa? How long can Americans stay in blank? And do I need to fill out anything ahead of time? And it's been good. It's been really good. As you know, I am, or some of you might know, I am, this is the year that I will put down some roots. This is the year of the dog. I'm house sitting right now. I just fed everyone. They should be willing to lay down and chill out for a while, but the dog is over there licking the bottom of his dish, making noise, or she. So that, I guess that wasn't enough. Now she's here. I guess that wasn't enough food. Okay, anyway. Yeah. Okay, so let's get talking. Yeah, so all I need, what do you need to be a nomad, right? What do you need? As far as legal entry into a country, normally it's just what are the tourist, is there a tourist visa, or Americans, I have a US passport, are Americans just allowed to enter this country for X number of days and stay? That's the most rigmarole, bureaucracy that I have to deal with, as opposed to moving somewhere and actually living somewhere. So it's nice, and I recommend it. I recommend it. I recommend the freedom of just picking up and going somewhere and staying as long as you can, or as long as you feel like it, and then picking up and trying someplace new. I recommend it. It's been a wonderful 8 years. But as you know, I'm about to be on a new journey. So, where are my notes? My notes are on my note thing. So, what kinds of things are different about bopping around, though? But we're not here to talk about moving abroad. We're here to talking about bopping around versus a regular vacation. What are the big differences between bopping around and being on vacation? And as I said, we're going to talk about some of the good and some of the bad. For me, the main difference in bopping around that I have to remind myself, I'm not on vacation. Stephanie, you're not on vacation, right? You live like this. The main differences are what I eat, how I work, what my day looks like, and how I prepare for loneliness or combat loneliness. When you're traveling for a week, you don't really have, even when solo or not, you don't really have to think about what am I going to do about community? How am I going to not feel lonely? But when you're traveling for months, years at a time, usually when I leave the house, I know I'm not coming back for 6 months. When I leave my parents' house in Delaware, I almost always know I'm not coming back for 6 months. And I have been gone for over a year without touching ground back in Delaware. And so I have to prepare for some things. Loneliness is a thing that you have to prepare for as a nomad that you don't really have to think about on vacation, right? So those are the things. So we're going to work through those things, and then we're going to also talk about some of the good stuff. The good differences, the things that make nomadic life even easier than vacation, like the way money stretches much further. Because a lot of people can live for a month on what they would spend on a week's vacation, right? The way money stretches further, and all of that. Okay? All right, so I asked you to tell us if you had bopped around. Let's see who's here today. Hi, Sandy. Sandy says, I've never been a nomad, but I made the move from UK to Toronto solo. Became a permanent resident. Congratulations. Stayed long enough to get my citizenship. Oh, wow. Everyone thought I was so brave. Congratulations. That's wonderful. Citizenship is, I do want to say this, okay? A lot of people think that you need to get citizenship to move somewhere. No, right? The question is residency. So Sandy started with residency. Once you get residency somewhere, you may not even want citizenship, but yes, residency is the question. How do I get residency, not citizenship? That's for anyone new. Hello, friends. All right, so who's here? Who's here? Okay, I says, I'm ready to do some bopping around. Okay, Simi, I moved abroad and I slow travel too. I'd like to be a nomad to travel a little bit more. Okay, hey, Simi. All right. Let's see. Hi, Rashida. Good morning. Okay, Haiku says, I need a digital job. I am nomadic. Okay, yeah. Are we going to talk a lot about work today? We can just say this. If you have a digital job, if you have a remote job, if you make money on the internet, think about a way that you can travel somewhere long term. Think about a way that you can get yourself into a place where you feel good, right? There is such a thing as a place. There are places, not there's not one. There is, well, no, there is such a thing as going to a different place and feeling better, feeling good, feeling lighter, feeling more welcomed, feeling freer, especially for Black people, especially for black people who live in the United States. So if you already have a digital job, if you already have a remote job, pull out a map. Google where can I go without paying for a tourist visa, or maybe you don't care about paying for a tourist visa, and start there. But if you don't yet have a way to make money without being in a specific location, that is the beginning. That's normally how people start their remote journey or their digital nomad journey or their slow travel journey. Either how do I make money without being in a specific location, or how much money do I have and how long will it take me? All right. Erlene says, I'm searching for a traveling road dog. Sometimes you meet her on your travels. Okay? Sometimes you meet a person who you're going to travel around with while you're traveling, because people who like to travel like you are traveling like you. Okay? So maybe you need to if you're not afraid, if you can do it alone, get out there and do it alone. Get started alone. Okay? And you can meet up with people in various places. And you may find somebody who you're going to travel with for stretches of time. I've done this, right? So as I'm a loner and a hermit, I like to be alone. I really like to be alone. Right now, I've been house sitting for a couple of months straight, and I'm like, I can't wait to be alone. They're just pets. They're just cats and dogs. But still, I'm like, I need some alone time, y'all. But even I have done this. I've met up with a handful of different women, and we've spent a significant amount of time in a couple of different locations together. I told you a lot about Claire from the Netherlands because we have the most bomb pictures. We have some of the bombest pictures because we met in the Philippines in just on the most beautiful island, right? So we have just bomb pictures together. But a few times I've met up with women, and we've gone from city to city for a little while. I think, whoa, whose name I can't remember right now. New York, Nigerian passport. She had a Nigerian passport, but she lived in New York. And I was like, girl, you got to get that U.S. passport because you can't go anywhere. It was really hard for her to travel on her Nigerian passport. I can't remember her name, but we were in a couple of different cities in Vietnam. I just talked about her the other day. And yeah, anyway, yeah. So I've done this a few times, and I've met these women on the road. I've met them while traveling. And then, like, where are you going next? Where are you going next? Do you want to stay in this hostel, or do you want to split an Airbnb or whatever? I've done that. And you may meet her while you're traveling. If you are, though, into figuring out a more nomadic lifestyle, if you're into taking a career break or a sabbatical and traveling for a set period of time, if you're into the idea of moving abroad, if you're into the idea of house sitting, any of these things, and you're a Black woman, I invite you to join the Exodus Summit community. Exodus Summit is a Facebook group full of Black women who are into this thing, right? Full of Black women who are actively planning their sabbatical, their move abroad, their digital nomad life, right? House sitting. It's at exodussummit.com/community. exodussummit.com/community, or you can find the Exodus Summit on Facebook. Black women only, but you're welcome to join us. We're 10,000 strong, so you can find a travel partner there. And we do meetups in various cities. Right now, there's a meetup happening today somewhere. I don't know why I started that sentence because I don't know the end of the sentence. There's a meetup happening somewhere in the United States today in the Exodus Summit community. There are meetups that happen regularly where you can meet women in person who are into the things that you're into. So do that, right? Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm sorry, I lost my place though. Leisure and lace. Here we go. Leisure and lace. I'm a nomad now. Just got my Mexico temporary residency card. Congratulations. Congratulations. Someone who is new here is going to be like, why are all these black women getting residency in other places? I think it's important for black people to have a country who will take us in. Okay? Real talk. I think it's important for black people in the United States to have a country that will take us in if things go down. We're one president away from things going down, I think. And so a lot of women in this community are looking for that option. Residency in some countries doesn't mean that you have to stay there all the time. There are some countries where if you get temporary or permanent residency, they expect you to be there X number of days out of the year. And that may hamper your travels if you're a nomad, right? But there are some countries that don't care. They're like, sure, you can have residency. We don't care. We don't care if you stay. We don't care if you leave right away. I think Costa Rica, I used to know this, but it's been a while. I think Costa Rica just requires you to visit the country every year. There's one place I looked into that made you come back every year, and there's one place that didn't care. Right? Didn't care. I can't remember. Right now, I don't remember. Costa Rica may not care at all how many days you stay, right? And then Portugal had a kind of restrictive amount of days you had to stay in Portugal if you're on that D7 visa, which may not be the best choice for nomads, right? Okay. All right. Who else is Bopping? Who else is? Hi, Simone. Simone says, I'm a nomad mostly, inspired by your channel. Yes, go get it. Over a year in. Wow, wonderful, Simone. Currently in Medellin. Medellin. Oh, that's wonderful. How do you like it? And how do you like it? Okay, good. All right, wonderful. Yes, Rashida has bopped around. Rashida's channel is Rashida Dow, and she has bopped around. Rashida has Rashida bopped around for quite a while. I don't know, and got herself to a city that just called her name, right? What can happen is you can bop around and end up in a place and be like, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I live here now, all right? And then that's when you go and get that Mexico residency. So Rashida bopped and bopped and bopped and got herself back to Mexico City. It wasn't her first time visiting Mexico City. Got herself back to Mexico City and was like, I live here now. This is so me. This is so me. So yes, right, bopping around can give you a wonderful introduction to some places that you may want to stay long term, right? Might be a really good way to pick a place that you'll really like instead of just picking a place that some lady on YouTube says she likes, you know? Blacks at Global, hi Krishan. Krishan says, I originally wanted to be nomadic. Then we got a pandemic pup. Oh, got a dog, so I needed to plant some roots. My mom is too old to care for my dog. Okay, yeah. I think, so I did a whole video on digital nomad versus expat, right? The differences between putting down roots somewhere and bopping around. And oh gosh, I couldn't tell you how long ago that video was. If you're watching the replay, I'll link to it in the description. One of the differences is it's you have to be willing to go someplace new every so often. 1 month, 3 months, right? You got to be willing to pick up. Some things make that harder. A dog makes it harder, right? Because some countries have really stringent rules about bringing animals in. Sometimes sometimes people, children, parents don't necessarily make it harder, and sometimes they do, right? Some kids are like, whatever, where you go, I go. Some kids are like, ugh, I can't stand this. Some kids you won't like traveling with, right? Like, oh my gosh, I can't stand being on an airplane with this chick. She is the worst, right? So your circumstances might determine whether or not, which one is right for you. F Doctor, do you ever just want to be settled when bopping around? Yeah, we talked about this last week. I do. But it took me 7, 8 years to get there. I do. I want my own silverware. I want my own forks, okay? I'm tired of staying in Airbnbs with bent up forks, okay? But it took me a while to get there. It took me 7 or 8 years to get there. And then once I get there, who knows how long I'll be in a house before I'll be like, what else is out here? What else is out here? I'm sorry. I got really, what is it? I skipped around a lot in the chat, so I don't know. Okay, hi, KG. I want to be a slow traveler, but I don't want to move yet. I'm from Australia. Hi, KG. Good evening, I guess. Good evening. Tampa BBQ Queens. Tampa BBQ Queens. Hi. This is a new name. Welcome. I'm in the process of becoming a digital nomad. All right, wonderful. Good. You're in the right place. Carol. Hi, Carol. I was a nomad traveling through Asia after I got out of the Peace Corps in Korea. Oh, wonderful. When was that? Cassandra, I bopped around, volunteered mostly in 2010, 2011 in South America. Good. Kay, hi Kay. Currently in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. On my way to Mexico City in a few weeks, then taking an Alaskan cruise before Portugal later this year. That's bopping. Okay, KB bopping. Benta, currently doing it right now for the first time in San Miguel de Allende and planning and moving on to the next place soon. Oh, good. So you know the San Miguel de Allende crowd? There's a lovely community of Black women in San Miguel just thriving. Okay, just thriving. I assume you know them. You can't miss them. You can't miss them. Rashida just met up with some women there this week. Okay? All right. So the differences, okay? If you and I were sitting right next to each other having coffee, which we kind of are, but I'm having water because I didn't get up in time to make my coffee. I chose eyeliner over coffee. I was like, I can do one or the other. So I put my eyeliner on instead of making coffee. But if we were sitting here together having coffee, which we are, then what I would tell you is there are a couple of things you need to look out for when you're starting nomad life. One of those things is just remembering that you're not on vacation. You live like this. For me, that presents itself every time I find a restaurant that I like and I just order from that restaurant every day. It might be ribs, right? Or whatever. And I eat like I'm a person who's on vacation instead of a person who lives here. Even though I said when you're a nomad, you're not moving to a place, and I don't know that you don't really live there. You're not moving there. You don't have an electric bill, right? But you do live there in that, like, you have to, your day needs to be designed like a regular day, not like a vacation day. And so that means, like, I need to go to the grocery store or I need to have groceries delivered or something. I can't be vacation eater 365 days a year. Can I live like this 365 days a year? No. So food is the first place where I'm like, or the place where I always have to remind myself, you're not on vacation. You live here. Even though when you look out the window, you're seeing something totally different from what you saw last week. You're in a totally different place. You're not on vacation. So yeah, that's mostly with food, eating out versus grocery shopping. I don't know if I have a whole lot to say about that point. Yeah, I don't know if I have a whole lot to say about that. Um, but it's a thing. It's the struggle for me, right? As a person who's done this for years and years, the struggle for me is remembering that I'm not on vacation. Live here and I have to eat here like a normal, like a person, not like a vacationer, right? Tori Prophet Mother says yes. Vacation eating messes me up. Yeah. So vacation eating is fun and delicious. Hopefully, you're eating good stuff, but like you live here and there has to be some normal day eating. I still do we should still do vacation eating. That's part of being a digital nomad, right? Or part of being a slow traveler or bopping around. We should still do vacation eating, but it should not be for all 4 months. I see the comment, but it scrolled past. Yeah, hi Imani. I was a vacation eater for 4 months in Greece. We can't, I don't think we can vacation eat for 4 months. I have done it, and I don't recommend it. When I was in La Paz, Mexico, winter of 2021, winter 2021, For some reason, I decided to sit down and add up all of my Uber Eats and Rappi food delivery. I decided to sit down and add it all up after the 3 months was over. And I was so embarrassed, like ashamed of myself. And I don't, you've never heard me say those words before. I don't really have the shame organ. Whatever the organ is that makes you feel shame, I don't have it. But when I saw that number for food delivery, I was like, this is stupid. Why would I do that? I don't remember what it was. I blocked it out of my mind, but it was well over $3,000 for 3 months or something like that. $1,000 a month is $30 a day. It was more than that. It was more than that. I was like, this is dumb. Like, Stephanie, there's grocery stores here. There's a grocery store within walking distance. But I didn't really do the calculation. I didn't do the math until the time was over, until it was time for me to go. And I was like, looking back on what I had spent. I don't do that. I haven't done it that bad anymore, but I still overdo the food delivery and stuff, and not the grocery store stuff, not the regular everyday eating that I do in Delaware. So I'm here to warn you, okay? Take this as a warning. A part of the problem that this is so easy for me to slip into, right, is that food is just better in other parts of the world. Did you see that? Was there a tweet or something? What did I see yesterday about the ketchup, Heinz ketchup? The same Heinz ketchup in the US and Canada, the labels are different because the US has two different types of corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, and something else. Where in Canada, the regular Heinz ketchup, not the organic, not the natural, the regular Heinz ketchup is basically just tomato, vinegar, water, sugar, something else, right? Whereas in the US, we've got three or four, not just sugar, but high fructose corn syrup, and then another type of corn syrup, and then another, right? So in the US, eating the exact same way, I am bigger. My weight doesn't necessarily change. My weight doesn't change all that much. But I expand and contract based on where I am. And when I'm in the US, I expand. When I'm out of the US, I contract. And that is bloating and inflammation from the food, right? So when I leave the US, I eat restaurant delivery all the time, but I'm smaller. And so it's easier for me to forget. If my panties were getting too tight, right, then I'd be like, girl, go to the grocery store. But because my clothes still fit, I keep ordering out food. Yeah. So yeah, US food is just different, right? The same food is different. The same food is different, right? Cheetos and Doritos and stuff, nowhere in the world do they taste as good as in the United States. The regular flavors don't taste anywhere as good as they do in the United States, but it's because there's a whole bunch of stuff that other countries won't let those people put in that food, right? In the US, we have a lot of stuff in the food that other countries are like, no, we don't do that here. So eating the same stuff is really different. Quinn Edwards says, when I lived in Maine, my roommates would drive up to Canada and stock up on ketchup. Really? Really? Yeah. And salt. I forgot about the salt. Auntie Trey, ketchup is nothing but salt. Yeah. Yeah, in the U.S., it's just different. The extras, there's extra stuff that's added in that just makes a big difference. Yeah, Simone says, my first 9 months of travel, I lost 10 pounds without trying. That's right. That's a common story. Halana, Rashida and I just talked to Halana. Oh, Halana was just in the challenge, but Rashida and I interviewed Halana quite a while ago now for Exodus Summit 2020, and she talked about the difference, how much healthier she got. Halana and Eve Clark, I believe, how much healthier and how many medications they were able to get off just by no longer eating U.S. food, right? Just by leaving the United States and eating better, fresher, healthier food. Or, it's easy. You have easier access to organic food. Organic in some places is like the default. Some places, organic is just the default. So, yeah, and then you have easier access to the food. I lived in a food desert in Wilmington. I lived in a place in Wilmington, Delaware, where I couldn't get to a grocery store without, if I needed to, if I didn't have a car, so I had a car, of course, but if I didn't have a car to get to the grocery store, it would have taken 2 buses. I would have needed to take the bus to Rodney Village and then the bus to another place, maybe Concord Pike or Governor Prince. We're talking about an hour each way, easy, at least, right? An hour and 20 minutes at least, just to get to a grocery store in Delaware, until not too long after I left. My neighborhood kind of got a grocery store, right? We had Wawa, which is what I would do, right? I would go to Wawa and buy sandwiches, buy prepared food, or buy food that they prepare for you. But yeah, in other places, you just walk to when is the market? Maybe there's a market here once a week. Maybe there's a market here every day. You just walk to the market, right? You just go out the door, go to the market, and buy whatever you need. Fresh stuff. Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm looking through your comments. Yeah, they don't want it. Yeah, every time now I know, now I'm used to it. But I used to like try Cheetos. Sometimes you just want some junk food, right? Buy some Cheetos, and I'd be like, why are these Cheetos so dull looking? They don't have the bright color, right? I'm used to my Cheetos being orange. Where is the orange? Why are these so dull looking? And where's the Cheeto powder? Where's the dust? How come my fingers are clean when I'm eating Cheetos abroad? Like, what is going on? It's because they don't allow that stuff in their food. Sanitary products are the same, right? Sanitary pads, different. The same as in different, right? Other countries are like, no, you can't put that stuff in our people. Get out of here. All right. So food. Did we cover food? I hope y'all can't hear my stomach growling. I hope y'all can't hear my stomach growling. I think it was a bad idea to start off talking about food. All right. So, is that enough about food for slow travel and the difference? The main difference is that for me, that I have to prepare for with slow travel, that I have to pre-plan. The second is work. How am I going to work and when am I going to work? Mostly this means getting myself on a schedule. I like to work from the bed or the sofa, but that's not the best idea. It's not smart because either I'm going to end up falling asleep, right? Taking naps, which I can do pretty easily, or I'm going to end up watching stuff on TV, or I can't. I see this comment, but I can't. Whoever originally wrote that, if I could find you, I would block you. I don't know what's happening. I gotta scroll. That's gonna make me ugh. It's gonna make me sick. So I like to work from the Airbnb, from the house sit, but for some people that can't work, that's not helpful, and they should go to a co-working space, go to a hotel. Rashida and Adelia do that sometimes. Go to a hotel restaurant or hotel lobby, or hotel restaurant, I think is what they do, right? I can work from inside the house. I love houses, Airbnbs, house sits with a little outside space. I work outside for small stretches. Working outside, as long as you're under shade, is okay. Working outside in the sun sucks, right? With the sun in your face and on your screen, you can't see anything on your screen. That sucks. But working on a porch, amazing, right? Those 3 months that I stayed in La Paz, Mexico, I did a whole lot of work from out there, and I think I created something while I was there. I don't remember what it was, but I remember making a thing. Oh, my YouTube challenge, maybe. I think I created and started the challenge while I was there, and I did that out on that little porch, that little patio thing that they had out there. Under some shade, I think there it was shade trees. I love working outdoors if I have shade, but I need to have a schedule. I have to remember I'm not on vacation. I can't just do things when I feel like it. I need to have a schedule. It's not something I'm good at, okay? I'm not good at having a work schedule, but I do need to have a work schedule. If not, then vacation, the time will pass. 3 months can go just as quickly as a 2-week vacation, right? 3 months on a tourist visa can go just as quickly as those 2 weeks on vacation if you don't, if you're not mindful. I've asked me how I know, right? So I need to get some sort of schedule. Speaking of schedule, if you're a person who either works remotely on a specific schedule, or if you're a person who does like calls with clients and they're in a different time zones are a thing. And time zones are they can be a real nuisance or a real damper. Damper. It can be a real damper on working remotely. So figure out the time zone situation. Sometimes you won't know until you get someplace whether or not you like working that time in that time zone. So what I'm saying is, when I was in London and Morocco, I was 5 hours ahead of Eastern time. And I keep my calendars on Eastern time. Like, people book time with me based on the Eastern time calendar, right? So my calendar for coaching calls right now, I think, is like 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time, something like that, for a couple of days a week. I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and sometimes Monday. My calendar is open for coaching calls, 11 to 5 Eastern time. When I was in London and Morocco, that was great. I'm 5 hours ahead, so if someone books at 5 p.m., that's still 10 o'clock. Most people don't book at 5 p.m., but that's still 10 p.m. It's still not super late. But I get to do a whole day of whatever I want to do, just sitting in the pool or whatever, and then work. So that was wonderful. Now, here I'm on Pacific time. I'm in Palm Springs, California, house sitting. I'm on Pacific time. Being 3 hours behind Eastern time sucks. It sucks. So if someone schedules an 11 a.m. coaching call, that's 8 o'clock in the morning, right? It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I think I must have one day that starts at 10 because I had a 7 o'clock call not too long ago. I was like, no, this is stupid. So, but because I am nomadic, because I do bop around, I didn't think to, or not because of, I just didn't think to change my coaching calendar for the period of time that I was here. And it may not have helped anyway, because some of my YouTube coaching calls book really, really far in advance, right? Some of my women just book a standing repeat coaching call with me to talk about their YouTube channel and their businesses. And so some of them booked so far in advance that I still would have had a 7 or 8 a.m. call. Time zone things are, ugh. There are some people who love being ahead. There are people who love being behind. Some of this you may not know until you try it, okay? You just need to know that this is a factor. If you don't do coaching calls, right, where people get a time on your calendar, and if your remote job doesn't require you to be available at specific hours for meetings or for actual work, then it may not matter. If your remote job is do it whenever, as long as you do this many hours in a day, it might not matter to you at all, right? So just know what works for you, and sometimes you don't know what works for you until you try it. Transition to tech says, yeah, it's 7:30 for me right now. Can't believe I'm up. Me neither. Me neither. I got started at 7 o'clock. That's ridiculous. Pacific time is stupid. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Pacific time is so stupid. I have not enjoyed this. It took forever this is the first time I've really had major jet lag, like major. It was the worst transition. Going from London to Palm Springs was horrible. I don't recommend it. No. Okay. But this is a digital nomad problem, right? It's a remote problem. It's a long-term traveler, slow traveler problem that you may or may not deal with all that much, right? It's possible to do a whole lot of traveling within the same couple of time zones, right? It's also possible that you won't care, that it won't matter that much. If I had built in a couple of buffer days, if I had realized that the jet lag was going to be so serious, I probably would have built in a couple of extra buffer days where I did absolutely nothing. I thought I did, because I flew into San Diego to go to that conference, and I got there 2 days before the conference started. I thought I got there one day before it started, but I got there 2 days or 2 or 3 days early because I didn't really know what day the conference started. And still, it pummeled me. I was just undone by jet lag. I was undone. So it ain't easy. It's fun. It's worth it. And there is ease in bopping. There is ease in being remote and being digital, being remote, being nomadic, being whatever. There's ease in it, but there are some issues. Okay, so yeah, Joanna, I can't stand it. It's the worst. This is the worst. So, time zones and work are another thing that I need to factor in as a person who bops around. And then the third thing that I need to factor in for, plan ahead for, or it's just going to wipe me out is loneliness. Even as a hermit, even as a loner, I still need to be in community with other people or the lows just get really low. As a loner, when I'm feeling great, I love being alone. When I'm feeling awful, I still like to be alone, but I shouldn't be alone. There's a difference between liking being alone, right? And yes, you like it, but should you, right? I also like eating Captain Crunch for dinner. I like it, but it's not what's right for me. It's not what's good for me. It's not what's going to pull me to where I'm going, right? I need to make decisions that are going to pull me to where I'm going in life. That includes being in community with people. And so, as a nomad, I have to make plans or to plan for ways to find community with people. When I first started traveling nomadically, I stayed in dorm rooms and hostels. My accommodation budget was $16 a day for a full year. My average accommodation budget was $16 a day. And so it was pretty easy. When you're in a dorm room in a hostel, especially if you're in a female-only dorm room, people will be like, oh, we're going to such and such today. Do you want to come? Yes, right? Every now and then, yes, I actually do want to come. I wanted to go see this anyway. If I go with y'all, we can take pictures of each other, right? If I go with y'all, I'll do some stuff I wasn't going to do, right? So, yes, staying in a dorm room, in a female-only dorm room in a hostel is how I had probably 75% of the experiences I had when I traveled. Because if not, I'm gonna stay home. Especially some of these hostels are just cute, right? They have a pool, they have a bar, some have like a little coffee shop. I mean, I could stay there. I could stay right there, right? So 75% of what I did was because I stayed in a dorm room and met up with other people who were just like, oh, we're going here. Do you want to come? So that's been that was an easy way for me to not feel lonely. And so it took me a while of travel before I was like, oh, loneliness. There's a thing called loneliness. And that didn't really happen when I was in hostels and because during that year I stayed in hostels and I did work exchanges where I lived with people, lived in their homes and did volunteer work in exchange for free room and board. And so loneliness didn't creep up on me until later. I don't know, once I started house sitting in Mexico, that's when I started being like, oh, I need to do something, or I'm going to just spiral. I need to do something. I need to be active in meeting people. Thankfully, when I house sat in Mexico the first time, the couple that I house sat for, introduced me to their friends, and so I had people who would just be like, hey, we're going to the country club for dinner. Do you want to come? Yes, I do want to come. Right? Yes, I do. So I wait a minute. Well, hello, as Ellis, we ask intrusive questions sometimes, and it's my place to say what's none of somebody's business. I've met a lot of these women in person, and so it's my place to say what's someone's business and what's not someone's business. I haven't seen the original question, but I see the response, and we talk to each other here with loving kindness. Black women here speak to each other with loving kindness. And so I know Stephanie, I've met Stephanie, and so I would guess that whatever. I don't know what the question was, but I say what's none of your business and what's not. That's I say that. Okay, thank you. I think that you are trying to be helpful and protective of me, but this is a community where we speak to each other kindly, with loving kindness. All right? Community. So, combating loneliness is a thing you need to prepare for. As we talked about already, the Exodus Summit community does meetups all over the world. There are women in Exodus Summit all over the world, and they're meeting up and getting to know each other and spending time together and being in community with each other. And so I recommend that you get into the Exodus Summit community. Is that link still here? Yes, I recommend it. If you're a Black woman, I recommend it. You decide how involved or like how involved you want to be, right? You don't have to get into community with people and become a different person, is what I'm saying. Still be you, bring yourself to that community. There's somebody there who you will vibe with, who you will mesh with. Not everyone is a big group community person. Some people like a little one-on-one interaction. You can find that there as well, okay? So I recommend it, exodussummit.com/community. I recommend that, okay? All right, how are we doing in the chat? Anything going on? Kimberly Crockett, I'm an introvert and hermit too, but I have to have a community. They just understand me and they know I'm still in the group, even if I'm not always around. Yes, yeah. So the group dynamics are fun. There's, if I'm in a decent enough size, like friend group or community, there's always somebody who won't let me get too far out of the community without being like, hey, throwing me a little rope, pulling me back in just a little bit. Hey, you should really come to this. Even in my family, like in my family, my cousin Kim used to do that in my family, right? Like, I know you're not going to come to this, but you should. And then, you should come. It's nice to have somebody who will do that. Yeah, right. Who will like be your connection. There's the group, sometimes there's me, and then sometimes there's a person in between who will be like the connection and be like, yeah, I understand. You're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, you're not going to, but you really should come here. Or like so-and-so, today so-and-so told us XYZ, you should really reach out to her. You would never know this thing because you haven't been answering our texts. But I want you to know that XYZ happened and you should know this. It's nice. Sometimes there's usually somebody who will be, a little bridge. There's somebody who will be a bridge. Oh yeah, Rashida's letting us know that we go live. No, we don't go live on Monday though. I'm pretty sure we don't go live on Monday. We go live later in the week. But join Exodus Summit next week because we're doing a live stream next week. This month's theme in Exodus Summit is what is it? Decluttering. Oh, we do go live on Monday. I thought you said you didn't want to do it on Monday. Okay, I apologize. Rashida and I go live in Exodus Summit Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we're talking like decluttering stuff or whatever. I don't know. We're going to talk. But the theme this month was decluttering. Okay. All right, good. All right. So what was the thing that I need to DK? What was your question, Stephanie? I don't see your question. I just see a response to your question. Is this the question? This is a valid question. Is this the question or was there one that was deleted? Stephanie DK, when bopping. Hi, Stephanie. So I think this is Stephanie from who I met in Puerto Rico. All the Stephanies are here. I know it's hard to remember. I think this is you. I'm looking at your face though, and I'm like, no, this isn't Stephanie. This is the other Stephanie. Or no, we're all the other Stephanie. Stephanie DK, when bopping, how do you get your love and belonging social needs met? So I have done, okay, if this is a question about sex, with gently, asked gently, I'll tell you. Okay, so I have Tindered around the world. There's men everywhere you go. I date men, it's easy. If you're talking about real love, no, I don't, which is another reason that I want to stay put for a little while. Social needs met. I think this is a gentle way of asking about sex, though. Tinder, it's easy. There's men everywhere. Like, there's men everywhere. Being a person who dates men, that's the only way that I can answer that. It's easy. And in some places, you don't even need Tinder. South Africa, just go to South. So this is not me telling you to go to South Africa to meet men to have sex with, okay? I don't know. But what I'm telling you is it would be very easy if you. I think you should probably watch, friends, y'all should probably watch Rashida's interview of Clarice Mokamozel on her channel talking about Jamaica and women getting really hustled and conned by men in Jamaica. Women without a whole lot of, well, I don't know. I was going to say women without a whole lot of experience with men, but Jamaican men are just different anyway. You should watch that video if you're planning to go dating around the world, because you should watch that video. You need to be forewarned and prepared, right? But there's people anywhere. There's people everywhere. So even if I didn't date men, if I dated women, there's people everywhere. And being a traveler, being a person who is in a place traveling, means that you meet other people who are in that place traveling, right? So when we travel to a place, we think about us going there and only meeting the local people, but you also meet a whole community of travelers, right? Because the coffee shop you go to, if you're staying in a tourist area, the coffee shop is full of tourists, the bar is full of tourists, the hotel is full of tourists, or the whatever. Even if you're in an Airbnb, the Airbnb is probably full of tourists, the condo, whatever. There's going to be other travelers in other places. It's easier to meet, especially in places with language differences, in places where you don't speak the language. It's easier to meet other travelers and like spend time with other travelers than it is to meet local people sometimes. Once you speak the language, or like in the Philippines, they speak English. You can meet everyone, and the door is open for everyone. But in places where you don't speak the language, meeting other travelers is the easiest way to meet people. And you do that because you're probably staying in places with other travelers, and you're going to places that have other travelers, and you're going to tourist places and whatever. So it's not that hard. I've Tindered, I've made videos about it, but I couldn't tell you how long it's been. I don't remember how long it's been I've talked about actually the Tindering while I travel. What's a brief recap I could tell you? I don't know, it's Tinder. My experience of Tinder in 2015, 2016, right, was better abroad than it was in the US. I don't know. I can't speak to it now. I haven't Tindered since 2017. Right? I haven't been on Tinder since 2017. So I can't tell you what it looks like today. But I Tindered in Australia, South Africa. I actually had to delete Tinder. The reason I know I haven't been on Tinder since 2017 is I was in South Africa when I deleted it. I was like, I can't. Right? I can't. Tindering in South Africa, and not just Tindering, like being a woman walking around, being an obvious foreign woman walking around in South Africa was an experience. Men there are into, so the first word I'm thinking is aggressive, and that's the wrong word. They're into a way of communicating that is really annoying, right? You see a man, right? You're in a pizza shop. I was in a place eating this really good pear and prosciutto pizza. Bougie. I don't know. It was delicious. Pear, prosciutto, and something else. And there's some college students, college looking age. I was in a university area, right? The hostel was in a university area. I'm eating this pizza. The man sitting here with his friends, the friends leave and he stays to talk to me, right? So I give him my WhatsApp, or I give him something. WhatsApp, must have been WhatsApp. The first message. So we sat at the pizza shop and we talked for a few minutes, and then I left. Gave him my information, and then I left. The first message, dear, which is really annoying. I don't like dear. I don't know. Dear, you are everything I've been praying for. God has sent you to me for blah, 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 right? Like, you don't even know my name. I don't even know if you know my real name yet, right? Like, dude, it was just a different way of conversing that I could not deal with. It was in person, it was on Tinder, so I deleted the whole app. I deleted the whole app. I didn't just like remove it from my phone. I got rid of Tinder, period. In Australia, I went on one Tinder date. I got a bunch of pen pals in Australia, a bunch of pen pals. It was annoying. Like, I've told you I'm visiting here for X number of weeks. We need to move this forward. I went on one date and we went to karaoke and it was so much fun. But he had lived in Japan. So he was used to being a different kind. Australian men are ugh. But he was used to being a different kind of man because he lived and taught in Japan. So he knew how to like date women. Australian men don't really know how to date. Women are in charge in Australia. Women are in charge of planning and doing everything. Men are infants in Australia, and they're, what is it, weaponized incompetence. The Australian men have mastered that. But the one date that I did go on, fun, super fun. And we did karaoke, and I brought the house down. We had a grand old time. In other places, Germans, right? So German people get a lot of vacation travel time, and they have money to be wherever they want. And so I've dated a disproportionate amount of German, like Tinder matched and had conversations with and dates with and spent time with a disproportionate amount of German men, which is not everyone's cup of tea. So some people would think that Tindering is terrible just because they don't like German men. German men, the German language is very direct and harsh, and German people are that, sounding, and it's not everyone's cup of tea. Every time I brought it up, someone in the chat has been like, "Ugh, they're the worst." I would say they're not the worst. I'm American, so I know they're not the worst, but they are different. It's a different thing. Anyway, so I think that's the answer. That's my no, not. Nah. That is my answer. I've Tindered around. I've just been places where men will stop you and ask you out. Paris. I've been to Paris, right? Where a man was just like, "I want to do dancing with you." I can't do a French accent. I just be like, "Great poupon, great poupon." He was like, he wanted to do dancing. I've had men just walk past me on the street and just say, "Bonjour, ma jolie," which is what a strange place to be. Is this really how y'all greet each other? I don't know. I don't know that I have any other experiences. South Africa and Australia are the ones that stand out the most. Vietnam was very easy to date because in Vietnam, there are lots of travelers, lots of tourists coming through. Vietnam was another place where you could use Tinder or not. Yeah, okay. Mature Black Female Podcast. I hate the German language. I took it in college. I heard it's really hard. Yeah, it sounds harsh. Even though English is a Germanic language, German sounds so much more harsh. That carries over into their conversation. I've heard that people who speak German and English are much more personable when they speak English, right? They have a sense of humor when they speak English. When they speak German, they are the harsh person that their language reflects. You know what I mean? I've heard people say that. So, so I don't know. I didn't struggle with the Germans as much as a lot of people did. A lot of people, I've heard many, many, many times, I've heard people be like, not the Germans. Oh my gosh, not the Germans. Sandra says the men in Guadalajara were very friendly, and the ones I met were gentlemen. Yes, right. So you go to some places, and there's a different dynamic. There is a like gentlemanly thing in some parts of the world, in some, especially in parts of Latin America. Sandra is also a small person, right? Guadalajara, dating in Guadalajara would work for her. Dating in Guadalajara is useless for me. Trying to date in Guadalajara, what's the point? I'm 5'9" and change. They don't come in 5'9" in Guadalajara. So, yes, right. Different people, different places. Sage, do you find that you're is your conversation different in German? Are you finding that people who can speak to you in German and English, are they different to you in English than in German? I've heard people say that. And when she speaks English, she's so funny. When she speaks German, she's so mean and harsh. Yes, Francine says same in Italy. Italian men just walk up to you. No problem walking up to you and asking you out. Yeah, so that has been no problem. It's been love, right? So your question was I read it in two different ways. But if we're talking about feeling love, not that. Now, I have been in the company of Black women pretty much everywhere I've been. I can't think of a place where I didn't meet Black women. And there is so love, it depends on what you're meaning by love, but there is a love that I have been given, felt, been showered with everywhere because I have been in the company of Black women everywhere. I can't think of a place that I went where I didn't have a Black woman friend, right? A Black woman. And friend, friend is loose. Friend, because, I'm only in town for 3 weeks, right? But like a Black woman that I could be like, let's go have some coffee. Let's chat. Uzo is her name. Uzo in Vietnam. Friend. Uzo and the other woman. The woman who was there in Vietnam to learn how to sew so she could, Jazzy, Uzo and Jazzy, right? In Vietnam. Australia is probably the only place I didn't meet a Black woman. Australia also a place I didn't love. Is there a correlation? You tell me. In South Africa, there were South African women who just were really good to me. So I'm not going to be able to recall names. There are days when I feel like my recall is on it, and there are days when I'm like, I don't know, I don't remember. But South African women who I met in a hostel, very generous and giving. Your definition of love might be a lot more tight than mine. Mine is really broad, as you can see. But I have been loved on. I have been loved, cared for, supported, reached out to by Black women all over the world. And so that's how that need gets met. But sex, Tinder, and hostels, Tinder, bars, being a person who goes to bars. It's the same. It's like anywhere else. It's probably a little easier because in some places I'm exotic, right? In a lot of the world, I am exotic, okay? So it's been really easy. Dating is really easy. Easy in some places. In Mexico, not in Mexico. But like I said, I'm 5'9". But in other places, you just leave. I just need to leave the place. leave the hostel, leave the Airbnb, leave the house sit. Boom. Grey Poupon. That's my French. Grey Poupon, Dijon. All right. Yes. Oh, so Amethyst Stone says tall ladies need to go to Netherlands, Finland, Norway, Sweden. Yeah. So they're very tall people, which is also, and Germans are also kind of pretty tall. Also another reason why Tinder matched with so many Germans is because they're pretty tall as well. Yeah. Uh huh. Okay. Let me see. What did I miss? What did High Vibe say that what we're agreeing with? Oh, I don't know. I missed it. I missed it. Okay. So things that we need to be prepared for that could become negatives. I'm not saying that these are negatives. I'm saying things that we need to prepare for, that things that could be negatives if we don't prepare for them as digital nomads. The food. We're not eating vacation eat. We're not doing vacation eating for 90 days, okay? Please. I've done it. You don't want to do it, okay? Let me help you, okay? Food, working, and time zones and work space and all of that. We need to be prepared for that. If you're not working, boom, you ain't got to worry about it. If your digital nomad time is work free, congratulations. And then loneliness is another thing that we need to be prepared for. Community, right? Finding community with people. All right. Okay. Some surprises in the pleasant category. Do we have any pleasant surprises that we want to talk about or discuss? I don't have any in my notes, but I'm sure I can come up with some. Pleasant surprises about being a nomad compared to being on vacation. Oh, money. Your money goes further. Vacation, if you're spending $2,500 on a vacation, seriously, if you're taking an 8-day vacation, you're spending $2,500, I mean, that could probably last you for a full month. Okay? That could probably carry you for a full month. Money goes much further when you have a lot of time. I've seen Airbnbs, 10 days and 30 days were pretty much the same price, right? By the time they give you, some Airbnbs will not 10 days, maybe 20 days and 30 days were the same price. They give you that nice discount. If you're a person who knows how to negotiate, also, it's helpful to travel slow because you can negotiate prices. I stayed in an Airbnb in La Paz, Mexico, that went last 2 winters ago, and I couldn't negotiate a lower price than the Airbnb price, but someone could have. Okay, someone could have. I don't. I am not good at negotiating. It is my secret shame. I can't negotiate. But people who could would really have done well in that Airbnb. All right. So money. Yeah, money goes further. The slower you go, the further your money goes. It also means not only the Airbnb is cheap, spending less money on accommodation, but it also means food, right? The thing we've already talked about. You can actually grocery shop and use the grocery. I'm on groceries. I'm on my second bottle of vanilla extract here. Instead of buying a $4 coffee, what is a coffee at Starbucks? What would it cost me? Instead of a $4 coffee, right? I'm probably having a 60-cent coffee because I bought the coffee and the heavy cream and the vanilla extract. It's not 60 cents because I do use heavy cream. Well, no, but it goes pretty far. I don't want to do the math, but let's say $1 coffee, right? Instead of a $4 coffee every day, or $6 or $8 coffee every day. So your food goes further as well. Your food budget goes further. If you're staying someplace longer, you may figure out some things that you wouldn't figure out if you were only there for 6 days, like how to use public transportation instead of renting a car, how to walk and Uber and take the metro instead of renting a car. So your money can really go further when you're traveling slowly. Better than vacation. You also, number two point, that is a pleasant surprise, you also get a whole lot more rest. Vacations are not relaxing, they're not restful. Vacations can be very go, 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 right? Busy, busy, busy. Sleep when you get home, sleep, right? Whereas when you're traveling slowly, you ain't got to do all that. You can go do some sightseeing tomorrow or next week, next month, right? You can relax and rest today. Good. Listen, my work here is done. Erica says, because of you, I now add vanilla extract to my coffee. Okay, my work is done. Treat yourself. I'm the ambassador of vanilla extract. I don't know if y'all know this. I've declared myself vanilla extract's ambassador in the world. Put it now, next, add it to your oatmeal, pancake batter, French toast, whatever, and all of the breakfasts. Make it a part of your breakfast routine. I'm telling y'all, listen, when I was talking to my mom one time about money and like how much money I wanted to make, had started coaching and my YouTube channel was just popping off. And I was talking about how will I know when I made enough money? Right? Because we don't talk about when is enough. We talk about making more money, but when is it enough? And I was like, well, I'll know I'm making enough money when I can walk in to the grocery store, buy vanilla extract without looking at the price, and then use it liberally throughout my day without thinking about what it costs. Because at that point, that vanilla extract was a sacrifice. I was still putting it in my coffee and my oatmeal, but I was thinking about it every time. Like, ooh, and then when I had to go buy more, like, oh, ooh, can I get a little bit more out of this? Is there anything in here? Maybe if I add a little something to swirl it around, right? Right? Today, vanilla extract is flowing through my life with abundance. And so I want that for you. Vacations are draining. Vacations are very tiring. Most of us have to take an extra day when we come back from vacation just to sleep, just to rest. Long-term travel should not be like that. We should embrace the slow travel. Every now and then I'll do a coaching call with a woman and she'll be like, here's my plan. I have 8 weeks. I'm going to visit 16 cities in 8 weeks. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Go to one place. Stay in that one place. If you don't like it, have a backup place that you can go to next. You're not doing 16 cities in 8 weeks. We don't do that. We're not doing that. It's tiring. It's exhausting. Having to be in, because you're committing yourself to 2 travel days a week. 2 travel days a month is too much. 2 days where you have to pack everything. For some of you, that doesn't sound bad, but it's horrible. Repacking your stuff sucks. I moved from the casita to the main house here at this house. She has a little Airbnb guest room. It's a room with a bathroom and like a microwave and mini fridge. I moved from there to here. I didn't pack my stuff up and bring it over. I, I just bring stuff over as I need it. Because I hate packing that much. I was only in that casita Monday to Friday, Monday to Thursday even, Monday to Thursday. But as you go, you use things and you take things out of the bag and you look for this, right? So I basically unpacked over there by mistake. And then when it was time to come over here, I was like, I hate packing, so I'm not gonna pack. So the first day I needed to walk my dog, so I made me walk the dog. So I bring over my walking shoes, my toiletries, my computer, right? And then the next day I need a couple more outfits, go bring them over. I hate packing. I also don't enjoy travel days, right? Bus stations, airports. Airports are horrible. I don't care. Now that I fly budget, what is it called? Business class. Now that I'm flying business class, we've talked about this, how it's a smoother experience, but still not smooth, just smoother. I don't enjoy travel days. You want to put 2 travel days in every week, I'm always going to tell you no. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So we don't want to plan our sabbatical, our slow travel as if we're planning vacations. We don't want to jam pack it with things. This is how we live now. This is how we live now. So we can take our time, do things in a slow way. All right? Do it. I want to become a negotiator. That is what my dad did for a living. And he enjoyed it. It was him. It was very him. He used to take me, when I used to go take him to buy myself a car, he would do all the negotiating, right? He would just loved it. He loved it. That was his thing. He is an amazing negotiator. I did not get it from him. I didn't get it. Yesterday, Rashida and I needed to negotiate something, and the person was at 40, and I was like, 58, right? I cannot negotiate in Thailand. I was staying in a guest house in Thailand, and the woman who owned it was like a bed and breakfast type place, and the woman who owned it was very lovely, the Thai woman. She was wonderful, very, very nice lady. And I said, I need to take a tuk-tuk to the mall. Can you tell me about how much it should cost me? And she said 20 baht. I don't know if that sounds right, but I'm making up a number. I don't remember what the baht amount was. 20 baht. Okay. So I go outside and I hail the man to take me to the mall. And he said, 80 baht. No. Yeah. And I was like, how about 40? Right? Now, she done already told me it was 20 baht. I'm starting at a number higher than the number I want to end up at. Negotiation is a skill that can take you far in life. I just have never acquired it. So I'm just going to have other people have other people do it for me. Take my dad with me every time I need to make a major purchase. Holler at Rashida. Anytime I need to negotiate something, somebody else is going to have to be involved. I know it can't be me. It can't be me. Erica says my husband's like, where's all the vanilla extract going? Girl, let it bless him too. Erica, tell him, share the secret. Share the secret. Hey, Yasharala Princess, how do I book you? I have coaching calls on my calendar at vicarious.com/call me. Vicarious.com/call me. If you go to vicarious.com, you'll see a thing in there like work with me or something like that. Yeah, that's how you do it. Do it. Yes, pancakes, French toast, waffle mix. I don't care. If it's a breakfast food, probably you want to put a little vanilla in there. A sweet, something you're going to sweeten anyway. Put a little vanilla in there. Oatmeal, cream of wheat, all of it. Everything. Let it flow over you and through you. Do it, do it, do it, do it. I'm telling you, there's no turning back. No turning back. All right. Okay, so there's a lot of talk about vanilla. Let me get past this. Okay, anything? So the money and the ease or like chill of it are the benefits, I think, over vacations. How did we do talking about slow travel versus vacation travel? Girl, Teresa says, ugh. Airport lines, people, ugh. Same, same. I have done it. I've done it, right? So when I traveled around Thailand at that pace at times, and Vietnam at times, and then I would stay somewhere for a month. So in Thailand, a lot of the places I went, I stayed for 3 days. Right, they're small places. I went to a lot of very small towns. I don't mind going to a small town. But then once I got somewhere else, like Bangkok or Chiang Mai, I stayed for a month. I think I stayed a month in Bangkok and a month in Chiang Mai. Maybe 3 weeks in Bangkok, something like that. But then like Ayutthaya, I'm gonna go to Ayutthaya for 3 days. I'm gonna go here for 3 days. I'm gonna go, right? So I've done it. I'm not saying I've never done the 2 cities per week schedule. Maybe 3 cities per week. But I built in a lot of sit down somewhere time, right? Chiang Mai, a month in Chiang Mai, unnecessary, but pleasant, enjoyable. I was in a place with a lot of restaurants and a mall and local like women selling stuff. I bought a skirt that I loved. I don't remember where that skirt is now. I walked past the lady's shop and she says, "We have big size. We have big size." I was like, "Okay, let me come in and spend some Thai baht in here." And I had that skirt for the longest time. I mean, it may still be at my mom and dad's house. Oh, Kyoka, good, great point. Hi, Kyoka. I need to stop buying things like I'm on vacation. The shopping is another potential pitfall. She says, "My luggage is getting heavy with impractical clothes. Why do I need a satin cape?" You need it? Okay. If you bought it, you need it. Okay. Now we just need to incorporate it into the wearing, right? Take it from wardrobe to wearing. Yeah, the shopping is another thing we need to be careful for. That's right. Because everything you buy, you're going to have to keep with you all the time. Every time you repack, which is one of the reasons I can't stand repacking. Every time you repack, you're going to have to repack that stuff that you bought, that you don't want, that you don't need, that you don't want to carry around. I don't know if I can give you recall an example. I have plenty of things that I've bought places. I'm like, I don't. Oh, well, like just in Morocco, I bought a jacket, like a duster, not a robe, much heavier than a robe. And I'm already sick of carrying it around. I haven't worn it once. It does, truth be told, it doesn't fit. The sleeve is a little too snug, right? I thought by now it would fit. I don't know what happened. Okay, I don't know. But it still doesn't fit. Already tired of carrying it around. And Morocco was just in April. Um, Every time you pack and repack, all this stuff has to come with you. Heavy, taking up space. Yes, the shopping. That's a real pitfall. You're not on vacation. You're not just going to fly back home, which is why I didn't get a tagine in Morocco, the thing. I almost did. I had it in my hands. I had the money out to pay her. And I was like, how long do I really want to carry this around? If I was going home and dropping it off, I'd have it. I'd have bought it. But I'm not going home. I bought 2 little argan oils. It would have been nice to stock up on some good argan oil, but I didn't because I'm not going home. I'm traveling around. Yes, the shopping, and then souvenirs for other people. I still every now and then I'll still pick up something for somebody. There's no one in my life who expects a souvenir from me. Even my parents, right? There's no one who expects me to come home with something. But every now and then I'll pick something up. So in Costa Rica and El Salvador, I bought coffee beans. And I thought that was cool. I thought that was a nice gift. Bulky, heavy, took up space. Smelled really good though, and worth the effort. I bought the one in Costa Rica. Excuse me. Went to El Salvador. Where did I go? I went from Costa Rica to El Salvador to somewhere else before I flew home. So every time I'm reshuffling stuff in my suitcases, there's these 2 bags of coffee beans with me, right? And I bought the sauce, the Lozano sauce. That's that green sauce I love in Costa Rica, the salsa, the Lozano. I bought some for gifts. That's right, because I took one to Angela. I brought some for gifts, souvenirs for other people. Every time you pack, it's got to go with you, which is why I rarely do it. I rarely do it anymore. But if I do, I just know it's just a thing that I'm going to have to just carry with me forever and ever and ever and ever until I get where I'm going. Abba says, I was trying to find a small copper or stainless tagine for spices. I feel like was part of it was being there during the end of Ramadan. Some things we probably didn't see because some sellers weren't out selling. Maybe. Other stuff, I'm like, we just didn't get to the right places. There was so much more shopping in me, and then the heat. For me, I think the heat just zapped my desire to do a lot of stuff. I had the idea for some shopping, and I just didn't have it in me once it was time to actually do it. In theory, I wanted to shop. In practice, I did not. Yeah, so I feel like there was more shopping in me that just didn't come to fruition. And I think some of it was just the heat and the no, the act of and again the negotiating. I got sick of it. I was over it. I didn't even the robe. The only thing I really bought, that robe, I didn't negotiate. He told me a price. I gave him that much. The tour guide was sitting there like, I just told you. I just told you not to pay what they say. Like he had before he outside of the door of the shop. He says, "Do not pay the first price. If you need me, come over to me." And he said, and he gave us a hand signal even to ask him a question. He gave us like a hand signal or something to do. I don't remember what it was, something, right? All of that for that man to tell me this thing cost $40. No, it wasn't. It was probably $100 or $200. And for me to just hand it over to him, like, here, take it. I'm not negotiating. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Okay. Shy Fishburne says, if the item is too fabulous, it's worth the struggle. It's worth it. Yeah, I had to decide, right? Is it worth the struggle? I feel like the jacket I bought was not worth the struggle. I feel like that coffee that I bought for my mom and dad, lugging the coffee and the Lozano sauce around 2 or 3 countries, I think it was worth it, right? We have to decide with every purchase, is this worth carrying for the next 6 months? How many times, like seriously, how many times am I going to have to repack? How many times am I going to have to find a place for this thing over the next 6 months? Sometimes in 6 months, you're only going to one place, right? The tourist visa to Mexico, Americans enter Mexico and often get 6 months stamped into their passport, right? So maybe you're not going to travel anywhere. Maybe you go to Puerto Vallarta, you get yourself an apartment and you stay there for 6 months and you don't have to bop around. I mean, slow travel can be slow travel, right? And so maybe buying what's the thing in Mexico? I don't know what the Puerto Vallarta thing would be. Buying I don't know, bunch of hats, sombreros. I really do love the serape. I was getting there, the serape, right? Maybe buying a bunch of serapes is worth it. I don't think that's Cancun. I think serapes are the West Coast. Maybe buying these serapes is worth it because, right, you're just going to sit still for 6 months. But if you're bopping, every purchase, you need to have that talk with yourself. How many times am I going to have to pack this thing up? How many times am I going to have to lift my bag full of this thing? How many times am I going to have to worry about the luggage getting smashed if it's something that's breakable? How many times am I going to have to stress out about it? Might not be worth it. So maybe you just order it on Amazon when you get home. They got it. Amazon got it. They have it. Hi, Simone. Oh, Simone, I already said hi, Simone, but hi, Simone again. How much luggage do I travel with? Right now, I travel with a carry-on roller bag. I travel with a carry-on plus a medium-sized bag, right? You know how suitcases come in small, medium, and large. Small and medium plus a backpack. Yeah, that's it. I'm like, what did you bring here? I also brought a bag of groceries here. So that's why I had an extra bag in my hands. But yeah, that's what I'm traveling with now. Small, medium, plus a backpack. I've done a variety of things. I once traveled, when I started my sabbatical, I started with a 70-liter backpack. It's huge, huge, too much. I got sick of it, sick of it. Well, actually, so no, I bought the 70-liter backpack and I decided that it was too big. And so I got the same size bag, but a roller bag. I had a 70-liter roller bag when I started traveling that first year in Asia and Australia. And that got annoying. So then I did take myself down to a carry-on only because I was doing a lot. Like I said, I was doing a lot of moving from place to place. So then I did go down to a carry-on only halfway through. But I didn't stick with carry-on only very long. It's hard. I don't like it. It's more struggle for me to try to fit things into only a carry-on bag than it is just to pay to check a bag. There's ease in checking a bag. I'm just gonna check a bag. But I did the carry-on only thing for about 6 months of full-time travel. It was hard, hard. Everything, like, it's not only the clothes. For me, it's not necessarily the clothes and shoes because I'm fine. Like in Southeast Asia, you need a good walking sandal type thing and some flip-flops, right? I'm pretty sure I had two pairs of like walking sandals, one a little more like a sneaker, water shoe, one like water shoe, I'll say, one walking sandal, and a couple of Old Navy flip-flop pairs, a couple pairs of Old Navy flip-flops, right? It wasn't the shoes for me. It's just the other stuff that you need. Like well, back then I didn't need this, but right now I travel with this light, just the other stuff that you need. Everything takes up space. Trying to travel with carry-on only was stressful. I didn't like it. Yeah. Yeah, I appreciated it. Right. As I said, Shane, I'm not gonna. You have to tell me you're insulting me, for me to feel insulted. I didn't feel insulted. I was like, good. As a person who is if I have $1 in my pocket, I'm spending $1. Okay, I have some baht. I'm spending some baht. I appreciate you telling me that I should come into your shop because I don't wasted some time in some shops looking for some stuff and there was nothing in there for me. So I appreciate you, lady. I went in. I remember the skirt I bought, peach colored, A line, like not cotton, maybe cotton. I don't know. Heavy cotton. Lovely peach colored, swingy kind of A line skirt. I remember going in that. I remember the shop. I was like, I wish I could buy more. I think I almost bought a scarf in there. This was 2015. This was 2015. I remember that lady talking about we have big size. I remember going in there, spending some money, and being like, "Oh, but do you have this?" Do you, like trying to find some extra things as well. Taylor Gay says, "I finally got down to a fanny pack for day trips, a small carry-on for a day to week." Fanny pack for day trips. Oh, like day trips. Yes. Okay. Small carry-on for day to week. For a week, could I do a week? I could do a week in a carry-on, but so right now I have 6 books. I have six actual books in my backpack. I have 3 decks of in my suitcase. I have 3 decks of affirmation cards. I was gifted these cards by the lady in the Palm Springs meetup. The Rest deck by Trisha Hersey, who is the NAP bishop, head of the NAP ministry. So I was gifted these cards. I already travel with my cards that we talked about before. And then I got some cards at the conference that I went to that I probably just need to throw away because I don't like them. ROI Summit, they did some cards too, but they didn't do a good job. The affirmations aren't affirming. The affirmations were not affirming. So that's what I mean by it's not necessarily the clothes for me, even though it is the clothes. I could pack very few clothing and live because I could just wear the same stuff over and over. I don't really mind that. For me, it's more about the other stuff that I want. Like I just want my other stuff with me. I have probably 10 different lipsticks. When you're traveling for a long time, you do want to still feel comfortable. You don't want to be on vacation level of stuff. You don't want to be on the vacation level of stuff. You want more stuff with you. Yeah, right. On vacation, I could 2 lipsticks, right? Give me a neutral, like brownish something, and give me a red, right? Actually, I would probably do a brown and a pink. If I was going to do 2 lipsticks, I would do a brown and like a fuchsia pinky color. But when you're somewhere for 6 months, you want to have I want 10 lipsticks. I don't know if it's 10. I have 4 right here in front of me. I don't know if it's 10. I use these. These are just Maybelline from Target. You know they're from Target. I don't even have to tell you that. If there's 4 here, so I probably have 8. Yeah, you do want to feel comfortable. You don't want to feel like you're in vacation mode. You want to feel like you're relaxed in. For me, having actual physical books makes me feel relaxed in a place. I like to read books. I like to read physical books. I do listen to audiobooks a lot. But if I like the audiobook, I'll buy the physical book and then finish reading it in a physical book. Or usually I'll start over. If I start listening to the audiobook and I really like it, I'll buy the physical book and then read the book. Ms. Elf Mannequin, I'm scared to leave the States because I look younger than my age. I'm afraid I could get trafficked. Um, Maybe we'll have somebody talk about how to not get trafficked. It's not a concern I have as a size 20 woman who is 5'9" and 48 years old. It's not a concern. It's not a thing I've ever really thought about. What would I say? Just stay with people. Even if you're traveling alone, well, I don't know, because the people are probably the ones who are dangerous. I don't know. I don't want to minimize this concern, but you're probably street smart enough to not get trafficked. And also, they're trafficking women right here in the United States. If you can manage to not get trafficked here, you can manage to not get trafficked somewhere else. You'll be all right. Simone, I have to downsize the carry-on only for my Europe trip. Okay. I know, right? It would be easier, right? The ease is in having the stuff with you. Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard and stressful trying to fit everything into that carry-on. What do I not need? What do I not want? What can I leave behind? I don't like it. It's easier. There's more ease in just being like, I have 2 suitcases and I pay for that, whatever that costs me. I like to take 8 bottoms, 8 pants, skirts, dresses, shorts, right? And then just as however many tops I can manage. But 8 is my rule of thumb for the bottoms. As long as I know I have 8 outfits, I can cover workouts and lounging. Most of my clothes are loungewear, and or like what I like effectively loungewear, workouts, loungewear, and then going out in public, going to Target clothes, and then usually one thing that I think looks really pretty in pictures, right? One dress that does things when I walk. But that's it. And I used to over prepare for workouts and wasted a lot of time and energy and stuff trying to figure out how to take workout wear. Now if I have one thing to work out in, that's enough. If I have to wash it over and over again, okay, because I have not used the one workout thing. So I'm like, until I start working out, I'm not gonna carry workout clothes. Genie out the bottle. I bring one carry-on and half an empty backpack personal item and send my clothes out to be washed and folded locally while traveling. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Slow travel means you don't have to do your own laundry. Take it. I mean, send it out. Send it out. It means slow travel means you don't have to pack enough clothes for your trip, right? When you're going on a 5-day trip, you probably need to pack something for every day, right? If you're going on a 5-month trip, you only need to pack for 3 or 4 days. It's okay. Like I said, 8 bottoms, right? I have 8 days of different outfits before I need to think about what else to laundry. It's easier. It's easier to pack for clothing wise. It's easier to pack long term than short term if if you have an idea of what climates you're going to. Sana. So I used a steamer for the very first time last month. And I'm like, I might think about this. I might think about it. We'll see. Most of the people who see me on YouTube, and they only see me from the chest up anyway. So maybe I don't need a steamer. But I've thought about it. I was like, this was an easy experience. Maybe I should think about a travel steamer. LaRonda, this is helpful even though I'm only bopping around the East Coast for 6 weeks. I'll be living out of a suitcase for that long. Okay, good. Yeah, 6 weeks, right? So you know that somebody's going to do the laundry, whether it's you or somebody, right? Somebody's going to do the laundry. You don't need to have something for every day, or you don't even need something for many days. If you're not planning to do a whole lot, right? Just make sure, I would say make sure you have a couple of different outfits for pictures, right? So a couple of things that you like, so that when you see your pictures of yourself on that trip, you're like, oh, that looked cute, right? A couple of different outfits that you like. Um, but you don't need to stress out. It's really easier to pack clothing wise. It's easier to pack long term than for short term. Me too, Nick. I mean, we all do it, right? I just saw somebody the other day, it was on Instagram. He said, I've never worn these 50 outfits. Let me take them all on vacation with me. The thing about slow travel for me is I know I'm going to stay in the house a lot. I don't need a lot of outfits that look good. If I have a couple of outfits that look good, I feel fine. Most of my stuff is like, what I'm going to lay on the sofa, right? When we finish this live stream, I'm going to be laying on this sofa. Now, where am I laying on the sofa clothes? Where am I sitting by the pool clothes? Suits, swimsuits, right? Swimsuits. What I need is swimsuits. I don't need to be worried too much about clothes for this occasion and that occasion. Ain't gonna be no occasion. If there is an occasion, I'll just have to go buy something, right? It was easier to go buy something if you need it sometimes than to carry it in case you need it. The just in case stuff takes up a lot of space, too much space. Just in case takes up too much space. Big knickers. Hi, Ross. Shopping in Morocco, an underwear seller shouted after me, big knickers. All right. They want to make sure they want to make sure you know they have what they need. Yeah, no matter what size, no matter how much space you have, you're going to use it. No matter. Yeah, no matter how much. Yeah, so I do travel size perfumes. So I don't have one right here with me, but the one I have a her. I've switched over. So y'all were helpful with this. I used Dolce and Gabbana light blue too long. I wore Dolce and Gabbana light blue too long, and it was time for me to move on. And I got some recommendations, and someone told me to go to get the Sephora pack. Like there's a sample pack, and so I've really enjoyed the Burberry Her, and it's not much bigger, not much smaller than this. It's about this size around, but it's shorter. The travel size, the samples. It's not a sample, it's not the little sample size, but it's the travel size like this. And I'm like, that was really helpful. I really like having that perfume with me. I like it. It's nice to have the comforts. It's nice to have the stuff that you like. So like last Saturday, we talked about bringing ease into your home. It's really nice to have a little moment, create moments throughout your home that make you feel good, that give you a little hit of joy or pleasure or something. Same with when you're traveling, you want to be able to recreate that too. How do I do that? Different ways. Perfume is one of them, right? Having my perfume with me, having my affirmation cards and books, right? These are ways that I have just to give myself a little hit of joy, a little hit of pleasure, a little hit of beauty throughout the day, even though I'm moving from place to place and traveling. Katrina gave me a Tommy Bahama candle, a really pretty Tommy Bahama candle, right? And so that's beside my bed on the nightstand. It's nice to have those little hits of things. It's nice to have some space in your suitcase to give yourself little pockets of pleasure, little pockets of joy, little pockets of fun, little pockets of beauty throughout your day. Traveling slow also means you can buy yourself flowers. I don't know. Well, like I said, I stayed in some places for a month. So in Chiang Mai is probably the first time that I bought myself flowers. But traveling slow means you can buy yourself flowers. And they're cheap everywhere. Flowers are so inexpensive in a lot of places. Okay, so just Jess says also we need a topic about not being trafficked. Maybe we'll find somebody who can talk about it. It's probably gonna be a man. All right. I think men specialize in those things. It's probably gonna be a man, which I try not to bring on here. We've had two men guests. All right. Yeah. Danielle says no different than in the US. Not getting trafficked. Seriously, I mean, seriously, I think your odds are just as high here. Your odds are probably the same here. I'm not an expert. Maybe we need to wait for the expert. But I think your odds are pretty much the same. You live in some of these cities. I heard a number, but I don't remember what it was. The number of children, the number of not children, the number of missing women in 1 month in, was it Atlanta? Like, yeah. If you can survive, Sana, if you can survive the Atlanta airport, you can survive the rest of the world. Okay. I think that's probably true. I think that's probably true. Where you live, you're in just as much danger of being trafficked than any place you go visit. Use the same street smarts and common sense that you use here. Okay. Thank you, friends. Yeah, Kelly says many people don't realize it's happening here. Yeah, this is a like hotspot for trafficking. The United States. Yeah. iDash says the highest rate. Yeah, so my advice, the first piece of advice I was about to give her was travel, like meet up, make friends with other people, but they may be the traffickers. So I don't know. That's not something I have to be concerned with. My dad, when I told my parents that I was going to Southeast Asia, when I told him, when I told him I was going to Southeast Asia, my dad was okay with it. But then my mom convinced him that he was not okay with it. And he was like, you can't go. It's dangerous. He didn't say you can't go. It's dangerous. I'm going to tell you what they'll do. He said, I'll tell you what they'll do. I've been to Vietnam, is what he's, no, I've been there. I've been to Southeast Asia. I've been there. I'll tell you what they're going to do. Here's what's going to happen. They'll arrest you for nothing, right? Trump up some charges, arrest you for nothing, throw you in jail, and sell you into slavery. 2015, that's what my dad said. I'll tell you what's going to happen. I was like, Dad, I'm 41. My knees don't even bend. I'm 41 years old. I got bad knees and an iPhone. Don't nobody want me working in their rice fields, turning on my location tracker. Don't nobody want me working in their rice fields. I'm too old for sex. If the point of some sex trafficking is to make children, right? If the point of that, I'm too old for that. I'm too old to be picking things in fields. Don't nobody want me. So that's not a concern I've ever had. There's a privilege, right? There's a privilege in being old. Number one, you don't get speeding tickets when they pull you over. They just be like, okay, ma'am, have a nice day. Number two, nobody's looking to traffic me. Janelle, I just got this. This is from Old Navy. I have it in this color. And then they had a reddish, and they had a bluish. I almost bought the blue one, but I didn't. End of story. Kyoka says, been traveling solo for 5 months and haven't been kidnapped. Okay, good, Kyoka. Feel safer in countries that I've been to than I did in the U.S. That's right, right. So safety in the United States is talked about a lot, but not done, right? We talk about safety so much in the United States because it's such an unsafe place. Where you're going, you're probably safer than where you are. Okay? Where you're going, you're probably safer than where you are in the U.S. Yeah, KS. If I'd known that, I would have packed less clothes. So packing, somebody said pack twice the underwear, half the clothes, right? Pack less, just pack less. You can't, I don't think there's any way, as a person who's packed and traveled since 2015 over and over and over again, I don't think there's any way to get better at it. I don't think. It's just a matter of, can I deal with the amount of stuff I have? Pack enough, pack Make sure you can lift every suitcase you have. If you can lift that suitcase over your head, take it. If you can't lift that suitcase, don't take it. Stephanie, minimizing your travel wardrobe can liberate you in so many areas of your life. But if clothes bring you joy, then pay for that big bag. Pay for the bag. Yeah. I want to look cute. So for me, a lot of my clothes, I have more top. Like I said, I just throw in a bunch of tops because I need to be on YouTube, and so I'm like, oh, let's throw in extra tops. You want some picture you want some pictures out in the world where you look cute. But you don't need every day to be a different outfit, right? Even if you're going on a 6-day vacation, you don't need to be in a different You don't need a different outfit every day for pictures, but you do want some things. I've seen some people come back from long-term travel, and it looked like they were Arctic expeditioners. Like, you couldn't just wear a sundress. Buying those travel pants, which are convenient, right, and versatile, but they're did you really intend to just wear gray your whole time in Portugal? Gray on gray on gray? Couldn't you have just packed a couple of a print blouse in the mix? You don't want to come back. You don't want to come back with a whole bunch of pictures. Pictures are important to me. You don't want to come back with a whole bunch of pictures where you look like you were on some sort of Arctic expedition, hiking the whatever, right? What are you going to do in that day? You're going to go to coffee, get some coffee. You're going to go to a museum, right? Do you need to be packed? Do you need to be dressed like, I don't know, Admiral Perry? I don't know any expeditioners' names. Like, you're just going to do everyday stuff. You're going to sit around your Airbnb. You're going to go to the pool. So what I'm saying is mix it up. You do want some cute stuff. You do pack some cute stuff. Pack it. Take pictures in it. Don't go all gray. Give yourself a chance to look back at your pictures and be like, oh, I had such a good time. Glass half full. Digital nomad visas, are they costly? So most with a U.S. passport, let's start here. With a U.S. passport, there are quite a few countries that let you come in for 90 days without any cost. No tourist visa required, no visa on arrival, no visa in advance, none of that. You just fly in, you arrive. So that's zero, okay? There are some countries that have some sort of tourist visa on arrival, but still you don't notice it, it's free. It doesn't require anything extra, it's just technically there is a visa. There are some countries that have a visa that require some money. Are they costly? Almost never. And then there's some countries that require you to get the visa in advance, right? Send your passport off to the consulate or whatever, get your visa in advance. This is not a big cost for digital nomads, especially digital nomads with the US passport, UK, Canada, right? Not a big cost, no. You just need to know which countries are which. That's a Google search. Vietnam, I think, is the only place I've gotten a visa for in advance. And that was easy. Maybe Australia and Vietnam. You just go online and fill out something, right? You go online, fill out something, and maybe Vietnam, maybe like 24 hours later, I have the visa in my email, or I have the letter in my email. Australia, I feel like I just had to do it before I got to the airport. I don't remember. This is not information to help you. This is just me riffing, trying to remember. Brazil. Brazil, 5 years, no, wasn't no five, Lord have mercy, it was not 5 years ago. I was 40 years old. So 8 years ago in Brazil, you had to get a visa in advance. I think that's changed. China requires a visa in advance. Some Middle Eastern countries. When I was in South Africa, I wanted to go to Mozambique, and I went to the embassy in I went to the Mozambique embassy in South Africa to try to get my visa in advance, and they told me I didn't have enough time, so I didn't do it, and I didn't go to Mozambique. But no, the answer is no, not usually. It's a thing that you do want to check out for every country, but most of the time it's just going to be fly in, ain't no problem. Okay, Marcy says she regrets bringing her steamer. Only used it once. Only used it in one country. Okay. Yeah, when I used it, I was like, this was a good experience. But the fact that that's the only thing I've ironed or steamed since I got to the United States. Even the conference I went to, I didn't iron. Oh, I did iron before the conference. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know if I need it. Like I said, I'm about to go sit down for a while in Costa Rica, so I may not need it. I don't know what WF is. Taylor Gay says, as someone with a garment care business, I advocate for WF service while traveling, but understand their standards. What is that? WF? Wash and fold? Yeah, I have a fan too, a little fan. Okay, okay, okay. So we've talked about this. We've talked about okay, now I'm on the perfume section. I'm see if anybody has. Okay, so MT Love Light Blue and Versace Eros is my favorite now. Okay, so there are perfumes for people who love light blue. There was like some sort of Sephora, the little thing. Like if you loved these perfumes, try this sampler pack. So there's some good ones out there. So I'm going to take a screenshot actually of this, so I'll remember that. Thank you, thank you, MT Eros, Versace Eros. Uh, I could not find flowers for the life of me in Puerto Viejo. That's Costa Rica. Oh, not even in the grocery store. So I happened to in Costa Rica. My last Airbnb, I was less than a block away from a cemetery, which meant I was less than a block away from a florist. And that woman hooked me up. I can't remember what I paid, but it was probably like $8 or $10 for a beautiful bouquet of flowers. So now I don't mind grocery store flowers. So most places I'll just go to if there's no market that I've been to. Let me start from the beginning. Most of the time in the places you just go to the market, the whatever, the Tuesday market or whatever, and somebody's selling flowers. There's a florist in there. If I don't do that, I don't mind going to the grocery store and getting flowers. If I don't do that, then cemeteries near the cemetery, there's a florist, right? You just look on the look on Google Map for the closest cemetery. There's probably a florist there. Now, when they make the flowers, when they make your bouquet, it might look like a funeral spray. Okay, hers was flat on one side, like all of it was focused on the front and the top, and it was flat in the back. So I kind of took some flowers out and rearranged it to make it a full circular bouquet instead of like looking like a funeral spray. Okay, it did look like that, but very inexpensive. And she was a nice lady. And then after that, every time I walked by, she would be really happy to see me. Okay, okay, okay. I'm scrolling really quickly just to see how we did. Okay, so we've talked about long-term travel and the differences between long-term travel and vacation. It's much better. Long-term travel, much better than vacation. Long as we don't eat like we're on vacation every day, we're going to enjoy it. We're going to love it. And don't buy souvenirs like we're on vacation. We're going to enjoy ourselves, okay? So let's wrap this up with anybody planning long-term travel. Anyone in the chat want to share where they're going next? We'll go ahead and wrap this up and move on with our Saturday. Get on with it. I'm gonna have breakfast. I need to see. So it's been 100 degrees here, and I think I've missed the window to walk the dog. So we're just gonna have to. I get in the pool. I get in the pool and just throw the ball, and she'll go fetch the ball and bring it back to me in the pool. That's her workout on a really hot day. She also has a tether ball set up in the backyard, but it's hot enough that I think, yeah, it's already 90. So it's too late for me to walk her. So I'm gonna make breakfast, and then I'm going to get in the pool and throw the ball so that she can get her exercise in. She's really cute, and she'll bring the ball. She'll run, fetch, bring the ball back. I throw it. She'll bring the ball back. I throw it, and then she'll bring the ball back and just get in the pool and lay down, like, because it's hot, right? And she's like, okay, wait, timeout. That's her timeout. Timeout. Let me lay in the pool for a few minutes, and then she'll get back up, and we'll do it all over again. You have to wear her out. She is, as you may have remembered from last week. Oh, she didn't get in the video this week. And we're coordinated. She's black and white. We're coordinated this week, and she didn't bother to get in the video. As you may remember from last week, when she's not exhausted, she is high energy. And so I have to do things to wear her out so that she's not all up in my face. Denise Childs, thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate you. I hope you're still here. That was a long time ago. I'm sorry. Thank you very much for that super chat. We're still putting money in the Vicarian Sabbatical Fund. We have given money for a variety of things. We sent $25,000 to Maisha Francis so that she could take her sabbatical, or so that she could continue her sabbatical in Rwanda. We sent Lisa on the retreat that on Adelia and Ivana's retreat in El Salvador, and we now have money to give to. I said this last week, and I still didn't do it. To give to Anne Marie and Dr. Kimani to send a woman to their. Is it over? I need to look at this right now. I need to look at this now because I don't remember the date. I think it was June 20 something. Their workshop. Hold on, bear with me. Because if it's not over, I will tell you about it. Content, live. Hold on, bear with me. So all that to say, we've done some things with the money in the Vicarian Sabbatical Fund. We don't have a plan for the money going forward right now. But the fund still exists, and we'll find it. We'll figure it out. Register for the Save Yourself Masterclass. Okay, here's the link. Copy. Let me see I'm just looking to see if the date, if it's not over. If it's over, it's too late for me to send them the money. I don't know. June 27th, okay. So there's time for them to get a woman into the masterclass. Okay. Anne Marie and Dr. Kimani are hosting the Save Yourself Masterclass, Channel Your Inner Harriet, Save Yourself from That Hostile, Toxic Job with Your Sanity and Your Coins, right? So Dr. Kimani is a therapist, a licensed clinical therapist who helps women leave and heal from toxic jobs. Anne Marie, the anti-HR lady, helps Black women get their coins, get their separation packages, their severance, their money from a job that has been when they leave a hostile work environment or before they leave a hostile work environment. Okay, so this is the link, and I'll drop this in the description of the video. It happens on June 27th. The workshop happens on June 27th, and we've put enough money together through the Vicarian Sabbatical Fund to pay for a woman who wouldn't otherwise be able to attend this workshop. Okay, so in closing, where y'all going? Okay, in closing, who is about to bop around? Who is about to start nomadic stuff? We already got a shout out from everyone who was doing it. Hopefully, if you didn't yet, let us know if you're already nomadic or if you're about to be for a while or for a long while or an indefinite amount of time. Let us know. Sarah, I'm going to Portugal and then the Canary Islands, flying out on Monday. Wonderful. Enjoy, Sarah. That's amazing. That's amazing. Abba says, anybody coming to Mexico City after August, let's have coffee. Okay, Abba. Stephanie Mills. Oh, I'll let you in the co-working group. Okay, Stephanie Mills. So so do you want to tell me your Discord name. Let me see. If I can't find you, I'm going to need your Discord name, Stephanie. Tracy. I'm Stephanie. Tracy, I'm going to, I need to eat some food and drink some coffee. I need your Discord name, Tracy. Discord. Oh, gosh. And then Vicarians. And then, how do I find? I'm scrolling. KMSST. Tam, Teresa, Toya, Trina. I don't have a Tracy. So let's see. Do you want to email it to me, Stephanie at vicarious.com? Email, if you want, can you email me? Okay. Okay. I see him. Okay. Thanks, Tracy. Yes, co-working community is up and running, or not up and running. I need to eat some food. I'm confused. Co-working community, they've been up and running. Co-working community is still going strong, is what I mean to say. Still going strong. If you're part of the Patreon community, then you have an invitation to join the Discord so that you can go to co-working sessions on Zoom. I know it's steps, okay? It's multiple steps. It could be easier, but it's not right now. It's not that easy right now. One day I will set aside some time to fix this, okay? But right now, the steps to join the Discord community are be a patron, become a patron on Patreon. Let me link to that. It's been so long since I've talked about this that I can't even find the link. Okay. Number one, you become a patron on Patreon. Okay. Number two, you join our Discord server. Once you become a patron, you'll get the link to join the Discord server. Number two, you join the Discord server. And then once you join the Discord server, you will receive the link for the Zoom co-working calls. It's the same link all the time now. Thank you, Jessica. Same link. So Zoom co-working calls. The co-working community is amazing. I went to co-working one day this week. I'm not there often. Okay, this is not a community. This Patreon community is not for like me. It's not to hang out with me, right? It's to hang out with other Black women who are into this thing, other Vicarians. And so I went to co-working, I don't know, one day this week. And the women who were there updated me on the women who weren't there, right? Because they keep in touch with each other and they spend, this is a significant amount of time that some of them spend with each other. Some come once a week, some come 4 days a week. And so they got to update me on the women who weren't there. But anyway, y'all understand, co-working. It's a co-working session that happens every day. Not every day, 4 or 5 days a week. But you have to join the Patreon first, and then you'll get the link to the Discord. Once you join the Discord, you'll get the link to the Zoom calls. Okay? One day it will be a little smoother, but not today. Okay? I can't fix that. I can't fix that until I do some other things. I still got to get a book out. I'm sorry, I said the B word. I don't even want to talk about this book. I don't want to talk about it right now. I still got to get a book out. But I should say this. If you, my book, Job Detox, will happen soon, okay? It will happen soon. Get on the wait list for Job Detox, a workbook for Black women to stop striving and get free at vicarious.com/job detox. Okay? Job Detox this summer, coming to you this summer. I don't know. I still don't have a real date. I still don't have a good person for the layout, and I don't want to talk about it. I have other things, and then now it's already time to start planning the summit. So now I have to be able to do 2 things at once, which is not my specialty. I don't know. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any answers. So, so let me know what's going on with you. Carly testing the waters last week, volunteer, free room, and board. Oh, good. At camp. Good. 1 week in, 2 to go. Wonderful. Okay, so we did a video about volunteering in exchange for free room and board not too long ago. I don't know what it's called, but we did a video on that. We talked about the ways that I've done it and the ways that some other women are doing it. Wonderful. That's awesome. Okay. Anybody? Shani or Shani is RVing full time, going to drive to Mexico through Central America, land in Colombia. Good. Going super slow, enjoying the ride. Wonderful. I would love to do that at some point. I would love to do that, right? I would probably try to get Canada, I would probably try to cover Canada down to Panama, right? I don't know that I would want to cross the Panama Canal because it's supposed to be really like expensive, I think, to get your vehicle across the canal. It's so expensive that some people sell their vehicle in Panama and buy a new one in Colombia. That's what I've heard, and that was years ago. But I would love to do that drive sometime. Take a nice slow road trip through North America and Central America. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. And keep us posted. Are you going to document this anywhere? Shani or Shani, do you have a YouTube channel? Are you going to document this somewhere, YouTube or Instagram or anything? Okay, so I'm just looking. I asked you for plans, but I lost my place. I lost the place where I asked you to let me know about your plans. Okay, we out. 30 days in April in Puerto Viejo. That was April. Yes, wonderful. Dr. Florencia, I'm going to Dominican Republic for 4 months. Wonderful. Enjoy. Wonderful. Olivia, heading to Japan, then South Korea with the kids. Possibly Guam afterwards. Wish me luck. Good luck. Enjoy. Guam is not that far from Fiji. If you get to Fiji, let me know. Wonderful. Wonderful. Indefinite. Kay says indefinite bopping. Good. Just do it, right? Just do it. Same. Good, good, good. Yeah. Okay. Nakia Smalls, congratulations. Nakia just got a remote job, about to be bopping. Good, Nakia, congratulations. Take full advantage, right? If your job doesn't care where you are, go somewhere, right? Take full advantage of that. Okay? Okay, I think this is where I was when I asked you. Okay, thank you very much for updating us. Okay, so let's keep bopping. Okay, let's keep bopping, bopping with community, right? Bopping with with community, but also with fun and with ease and with peace. Okay, thanks for hanging out, friends. Thank you for being so wonderful to each other in the chat, for answering questions that I couldn't see or couldn't get to. Thank you for being so kind to me and to each other. Now you. Okay? Thank you for being kind to me and to us. Now be kind to you. Speak to yourself with the same grace that you speak to me with, and give yourself that same love that you give to me. All right. Thank you very much, friends. I'll see you guys again soon. I'm hungry. Bye.